providing resources and comfort to caregivers. This is Caregiver Crossing.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Yes, welcome to Caregiver Crossing. We appreciate you being here with us for the next hour. If this is your first time joining us, Caregiver Crossing is a show that's brought to you by Joy's House, presented in partnership.
That's new.
I said it. Yeah. Hi. Partnership, which is the real word, with Cardon and Associates, who we love very, very much. We are here with you each and every week to talk about all things caregiving. My name is Terry Stacy, along with...
I'm Tina McIntosh, and we have our producer in studio, too. Your name?
Noah Taylor.
Noah Taylor.
Noah Taylor is here. Noah is kind of new to us here at Caregiver Crossing, but I think he's doing an outstanding job.
Well, you're very kind, and he is. So it all works really well.
I like it. I'm happy.
I do want to tell you, I've had a few people ask how they can donate to, one, keep Caregiver Crossing on for a long time on the air and donating to Joy's House. And so can we talk about that?
Please.
Before we get into all the other stuff?
Please, Tina Bina.
Okay. I want to say yes. I mean, it's hard for me because we want to just say, no, we're here. We want to be here for you. But the reality is you as a listener have something to give back as well. And if you choose to give to Joy's House, who brings you Caregiver Crossing.
And is a nonprofit.
We are a not-for-profit adult day and caregiver support services. And so we would love to have your support. You can go to joyshouse.org and you can click on the Donate Now button. And it's really just that easy.
And we'll name a mic after you.
We will?
We'll name a microphone after you. Yes, we will. Like I'll be talking on the, Jedediah microphone.
Jedediah, if you're listening, right, we would love to have your support and your donation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we are, as a not-for-profit, we are around because when there's a need in the community, which Caregiver Crossing, this radio show, obviously fills a huge need for all of you who are listening. And because of the kindness and generosity of people in the community as well. So thank you. For those of you who have asked, joyshouse.org, you can go there and donate.
Yes, yes.
Let's talk about, it is American Nurses Association. They are celebrating the National Nurses Week 2024 this entire past week. And this year's
teachers
theme,
too. It's been a big week.
Oh, it has been a big week.
Teacher Appreciation and Nurse Appreciation Week.
There is a lot.
It's a lot.
And you've been wearing black and white for the last 2 weeks. So Terry won't get out of her checkers.
It's May.
Your hat. I love the hat you have on right now.
Thank you. I like the flags on the top.
Yeah, you are spectacular. It's awfully odd time for you to be that spectacular.
Oh,
but the nurses theme this year is Nurses Make the Difference. And that honors these incredible nurses who embody the spirit, that compassion and care that is in every health setting, whether you're medical or non-medical. And so we want to look at that, but we have a history lesson. Noah has a history lesson.
Noah's our history guy.
Got a little history lesson today for National Nurses Week. So in January of 1974, the International Council of Nurses proclaimed that May 12th would be International Nurse Day, which is actually the birthday of Florence Nightingale.
She was on the Brady Bunch. No, she was the mom.
Go on.
The day of recognition changed multiple times over the next few years after it was set on that date. But in 1993, the ANA board, the American Nurses Association Board of Directors, designated May 6th through May 12th as permanent dates to observe National Nurses Week in all following years.
I would like to propose that we have a Terry Stacy week.
Would that week be in May too?
That week could be in May because there's nothing else going on.
Leap week. That would be
everybody during Terry Stacy week. Everybody has to be nice to each other. You must eat chocolate.
Yeah.
You must pet a dog.
Oh, definitely pet a dog.
I like this week.
Yeah, that would be. We will have that week.
Yeah. I'm in.
Oh, I love that you've proposed that.
Yeah. I don't know who to propose it to, but I've proposed it.
All those who want it, say aye.
Aye.
It's two.
Well, the eyes have it. Terry, do you have any kind of a personal story about a nurse? Has there been a nurse in your life that's made a difference?
As of recently, hospice nurses from IU Health down in Bloomington who took care of who really came to visit Dad when he was going through hospice treatment the last days of his life. And I will never forget who you are. And and I'm telling you, you're all very, very special. But there's, again, hospice nurses are, oh gosh, I hate to say that. No, they're all amazing because all nurses are amazing. Every one of you. I've never met an angry, mean nurse.
I have.
Now Tina, listen, you've been with nurses. You've been in care even most recently, you got sick again.
Well, those nurses are not invited to the Terry Stacy week. The ones that were mean. No, I mean, I would agree. Listen, it is not an easy profession to be in. It is not an easy profession to be in on a regular day, much less, during this COVID and past kind of
That's
a period. And so we just honor all of the nurses. I am too grateful for every single nurse and medical professional and person that works in a medical setting who has taken care of me and my loved ones over the years.
Yeah.
And
so grateful. We are surrounded by, and here's the thing, there's a nursing shortage and has been for quite some time. And that's kind of scary as you look to the future, because we certainly need nurses in our lives forever. I can't imagine there will be a time that AI now is now the nurse.
I don't want to think about that time.
No, I don't want to think about that either. But there's a great shortage. And I don't know. It's a fantastic, noble profession. I don't know what the reason is. Why
I think there are a lot of
into nursing.
I think there are a lot of reasons. I think we're going to start to see the generation now who's being trained in the industry will step up and into some of this nursing, CNAs, care roles, because this generation, and Noah, I'm talking about your generation, really, which is generation what?
X.
Oh, he's X.
Are you an X?
I'm one of the letters. X, Y.
I'm X.
Okay.
I'm so much older than you. Yeah.
Y,
Did you hear him? I'm definitely.
Yeah. He's like,
one of the
shoot.
letters, I
He
think.
knows how old I am. He knows my oldest.
I'm definitely not you. So I must be the one right underneath that. You must be.
Yeah. I mean, like, whether it's Y or Z or millennials or whatever it is. But I think, your generation and the ones under you have really shown to care about causes. And so I am very prayerful that people are going back into nursing and related, but there is a shortage. And I will tell you that I've said it before, Terry, but in the state of Indiana, there are going to be more by the year 2030, which is not far away, more people over the age of 65 than there will be children under the age of 18. More people over the age of 65 than there will be children under the age of 18. We got to figure it out. And right now in our state of Indiana, and sorry for those of you who are in Illinois, but I'm really talking about Indiana, there is such a spotlight on family caregiving, which is exactly why Caregiver Crossing is here, and on aging and how we age well in our state. And so, we've got a lot of work to do.
A lot of work to do. I mean, the future gets here awful fast.
Ooh.
And so, again, I don't necessarily know the reason why there is this shortage and has been a shortage, and there's still this big gap. But for those of you that are graduating right now and becoming a nurse,
right,
we applaud you.
Right. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to you, and thank you, because you're amazing in what you do. There's no amount of money, I think, that you can actually put on the value of what you do.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Incredible.
We're going to have to take a break, but we want you to stick around because we have a really great episode. We've got Jessie Hillock, who's the owner of Memory Compass, and she's going to be with us today. It's not her first time here. We love her. Terry, tell folks quickly where they can find past episodes.
Oh, you find them at caregivercrossingradio.org, and be sure to like and follow us on Facebook, please. If you'd like to connect with us to discuss show topics, or you need any help at all, you can reach us at 317-254-0828, or better yet, email Tina at tina@joycehouse.org.
You said it like, just come on over to Tina's house. Come on over. All right. Don't do that because, we're weird. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing. We are a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. And we are here every week because Joy's House allows us to be, and we have that partnership with Cardon and Associates. And so we are thrilled about that. You can visit caregivercrossingradio.org to connect with us and to do all the things. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back here in just a moment with more Caregiver Crossing.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. We're your hosts. I'm Terry Stacy. Tina McIntosh is here. She's back after a brief stint being away. She went to be a circus act.
I knew you were going to lie.
And she's back.
I knew whatever it was.
It did not work out. We're so glad she's back here with us. Noah Taylor is also here. He produces today's show. Listen, joining us on the phone is somebody who has done it all when it comes to helping individuals with dementia and their loved ones. She is a dementia navigation coach and a consultant, certified dementia practitioner, and has a background as a speech language pathologist. And so welcome back to the show, the owner of the Memory Compass, Jessie Hillock.
Nope. Jessie, what's your name?
My name is Jessie Hillock.
Yeah, it's Hillock. There's no second I in there.
But I like Hollyhock.
No. Jessie, it's Tina. Hi.
Hi, you guys are having too much fun. I love it.
Well, I'm sorry I messed your name up, but I do like if you got a minute, if I could just call you Hollyhock while you're here, that'd be great. I like Hollyhock. Tina, take it away.
It was more fun.
So, Jessie, as owner of the Memory Compass, you have so much. I mean, you do have a lot of background living with and caring for people with dementia. But tell us about the Memory Compass. If somebody is hearing about you for the first time, what is it that you do?
Yeah, so I help families who are essentially just navigating a diagnosis of dementia. As Terry mentioned, I have a background as a speech-language pathologist. I worked in skilled nursing for about 6.5 years. I was doing cognitive assessments for people who are maybe living in assisted living or memory care or long-term care, and we were trying to figure out kind of where they were within the disease progression, what type of increased needs they would, need to have and receive, and did a lot of in-services and education and a lot of care plans with families. And I just felt like something was totally missing because there's no manual for this when your loved one has a diagnosis of dementia. And so I started the Memory Compass to try to help be that manual for families just in an individualized way. You can research information, you can Google things, you can reach out to family and friends, which I think people should do. But sometimes you just need someone in your corner to help you have a better understanding of where your loved one is within the disease progression, have a better understanding of navigating the maze that is our healthcare system, and then get connected to local resources, and then just help through that grief and everything that comes along with it.
Wow, the Memory Compass sounds like an absolutely wonderful organization. So for individuals living with dementia, what are some common changes that take place in the brain? And then how do those changes impact their behavior and then, importantly, communication?
Yeah. So, well, as a background as a speech therapist, definitely everybody thinks that what I did was try to help people learn how to talk who have dementia. But that's actually not the case at all. Communication is so much more than just the words that we say. My area of specialty was always in executive function. And I think what we miss out on around the education surrounding dementia is that we think of it as it's just memory loss. But it is so much more than memory loss. I actually was working with someone today and they said, the memory loss piece, I can handle that. I can't handle all the other stuff that's going on. And those executive function skills are our problem solving, our ability to follow directions, ability to sequence, control of our changes or control of our behavior, awareness of our sense of self and our safety. So many things that really the disease impacts that if you're not going through it, you don't understand that. So people on the outside, if they're not experiencing this, they don't understand that dementia is so much more than just, forgetting someone's name or forgetting how to drive somewhere. It's, I can't figure out how to use my cell phone anymore, or I can't figure out how to operate something I've used for years, or, I can't figure out what do I do next when it comes to brushing my teeth or taking a shower, not wanting to change my clothes. All those things are really what families need help with. And the frontal lobe is what houses those executive functions. And that's really what changes start to take place when it comes to dementia.
And Jessie, maybe then can you tell us maybe some methods or some tools that might help our caregivers in navigating those challenging situations you're talking about?
Yeah, so it's really all about our approach. So, they're not going to change the behavior. Behavior is communication. They're not going to be able to change that. It's all about how we approach them, our approach and our manner with them in terms of helping with the shower or helping with their phone or, getting them to do something that maybe they're resistant to doing. And we can kind of dive into something that I'll help with a little tool with that. And when somebody is more resistant to care or more resistant to, wanting to do those things just mentioned, I like to use what's called the LEAP method. Is it okay to go ahead and talk?
Yeah, please.
Yes,
please.
please.
Okay. So the LEAP method, when somebody says that maybe someone's stealing from them, or that's something I hear a lot, like somebody's stolen something, really maybe they misplaced it, or, they need to catch a bus, or, they can't find something, or they don't want to take that shower. I like to use the LEAP method, and that involves listening, empathizing, agreeing, and partnering with your loved one.
Yep, that's perfect. Say it again, what it stands for.
Yeah, so LEAP, LEAP, it stands for listening, empathizing, agreeing, and partnering.
Okay, so let's role play.
Okay.
Shall we role play?
All right.
All right.
So let's say there's a guy named John. John's caring for his dad. His dad has dementia. And one night, as John's helping his dad get ready for bed, the dad becomes really agitated and he will not change into his pajamas. And so he keeps insisting that he's got to go. Let's say he's going to work and he's just not cooperating with John at all. And John really just wants to get his dad in bed so he can kind of get on with his night. How could the LEAP method be used in this scenario?
Yeah. So in this case, you're definitely listening to him that he feels like he has to go to work. So you want to give him that space. Usually what we want to do is tell somebody to calm down. You don't have to work. You haven't worked in years.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm upset, the last thing you want is for somebody to tell you to calm down. They need that space to be heard. You want to empathize with them. He really thinks that he needs to get to work. It's very real to him. Listen to that. Empathize with that. And then agree. And this is the hardest part because we know he doesn't really have to go to work, but we need to just figure out a way to kind of get him to redirect. And sometimes that's using a therapeutic fiblet and saying something like, let's go ahead and get a good night rest. I talked to your boss. You don't have work today. I got you these new pajamas. Let's see how they fit. I want to see if they fit you. Sometimes you might have to step out of the room and come back in. And then partnering. You're not agreeing with him. You know, he doesn't have to get to work, but you are partnering with him in trying to help him feel better in the moment and not as agitated in the moment.
Jessie, it's Tina, and that is fantastic advice. You know, I think when you were talking about the hard part is the agreeing. I think so many of us, and we're going to have to take a break here in a second, but I see it all the time at Joy's house where a caregiver I don't know that it's that they want to be right, but they feel the need to be right for some reason.
A caregiver, you're saying?
Yeah, like a family caregiver,
yeah.
right? And so instead of doing what Jessie just said of like, hey, cool, I talked to your boss and, no big deal. He said, get a good night's rest. You can come in tomorrow. They feel that need to say the things of like, Dad, you have not worked in so long. And so I think there's something psychological in there that I don't think any of us have the right credentials or the time to figure it out today. But if we could, as family caregivers, stop having the need to be right about things and just be there.
It makes me uncomfortable when I watch that situation. When I watch a caregiver step in and say, no, you're wrong, Dad.
Right.
You're wrong, Mom. You really aren't this or that. Or it just makes me so uncomfortable because you can see it, the changes in that person's face that they're caring for.
It's so true.
Hey, I hate it.
Now, listen, we have to take a break. Jessie, will you stick around and we can talk with you here in just a moment?
Yep.
Okay. Don't go anywhere.
All right. Gotcha. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing. Thank you, Jessie. A show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you as a service of Joy's House in partnership with Cardon and Associates with locations in Broad Ripple and near the University of Indianapolis campus. Joy's House provides exceptional day services, for individuals living with a life-altering diagnosis and compassionate support for family caregivers throughout the community. At Joy's House, we believe that everyone deserves to live their best life, regardless of their abilities. Learn more about our adult day and caregiver support services by calling us at 317-254-0828 or by visiting joycehouse.org today. That web address again is joycehouse.org. Stick around, everybody. We're glad you're here, but we're going to take a break and we'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after this.
We're back on Caregiver Crossing. Before the break, we were discussing how to approach difficult moments with your loved one. And we are really happy that Jessie Hillock stayed on with us. She is the owner of Memory Compass. And so, Jessie, thank you for sticking around with us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
All right, here's a starter question for this. What are some common phrases or questions that caregivers might hear from their loved one living with dementia? And how can they respond in a more maybe supportive and compassionate manner?
Yeah, absolutely. So one major one is, where is my mom or where is my dad? A loved one has been passed away for many years, or I want to go home, or somebody's stealing from me. So things that I try to avoid are telling them, just like we talked about before, we need to agree with them. So whatever they're saying is very real to them. But we don't want to say your mom's been gone for years. We don't want to say nobody's dealing with you. Calm down. There's locks everywhere. And we don't want to say you are already home. You've been living here for years. Things that you could try to say instead are, where do you think your mom is? What do you think she's doing right now? I love Mom. I would love to talk to her too. Or, that is so frustrating that somebody's stealing from you. I'm going to talk to the executive director of the building right after this, or I'm going to call the police after this. Those things are more therapeutic fiblets, but we're trying to redirect them off of that thing that they're very fixated on.
So these are really great responses to be supportive. Are there responses that caregivers should avoid saying?
Yeah, so just telling them that's not true, telling them to calm down, that's not true, that's not how that happened. That's, usually, again, what they're believing is very true and real for them. So you trying to redirect them by saying it didn't happen can actually escalate the situation.
Okay. Now, listen, I want to go to guilt.
I
know, but
why do you want to go to guilt?
Because this is the thing. I've learned this, and I've learned this from you. I've learned this through doing this show for years and then experiencing it on my own. We are going to, as a caregiver, you are going to feel guilt. It is just natural to feel, but if you can, Jessie, help us to understand that guilt and how we can deal with it when we care for a loved one, because we're going to have it.
Right, absolutely. So the one thing that I say is that, and everybody knows this, but it's hard in the moment. When you are communicating with dementia, you're communicating with your loved one, but you're also communicating with dementia. And so the way that you have to communicate has to change. So sometimes we do have to change the way we say things, such as, telling them that nobody, saying that you're going to talk to the executive director, but that that's not really going to happen. In that moment, we have to think of, is what we're going to say to them going to be productive? And what is our purpose in this conversation? It is to promote calm. It is to, decrease the anxiety. It is to de-escalate the situation. So sometimes we really have to shift the way that we would normally communicate because we're communicating with dementia, not necessarily with our loved one, how they used to communicate before.
Jessie, I have to tell you, Joy's House has launched. We're in a soft launch period right now. It is an online platform called Caregiver Way. And it is a community for caregivers. It is a web app, and we've got content pieces in there for folks. I would really like to talk with you about you doing, I think we've been in touch, but now we're going to really stalk you down to do some pieces on behalf of the memory.
That, Jessie, when she starts stalking you.
It's going to be great. But on behalf of the Memory Compass, I would really love to have you do some content pieces for Caregiver Way, because this is the kind of stuff that people need to hear to over and over, I think, before they actually get it, and to know that they are not alone when they're having these moments and these feelings of guilt and frustration and all of these other things. And so if you're open to talking about that, I would love to chat with you.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. And so here's a question for you. When faced with these difficult caregiving situations, and particularly when there's verbal aggression involved, how can caregivers maintain their own emotional well-being? So how do we protect ourselves as caregivers while also trying to navigate through the moment, particularly when there's verbal aggression from the person that we're caring for?
Yeah, that one is so challenging. And again, it's just trying to separate the disease from our loved one. And, sometimes very, very hurtful things can be said. But again, we have to go back to that executive function. Your loved one no longer has its executive function skills to put that filter on, to turn their filter on. So sometimes in that fight or flight moment, they're saying things that they would have never said before. And sometimes we really just have to step out of the room and compose ourselves. If how we respond is not productive, then we need to just kind of step out and take time for ourselves. And that's okay to do that. It's okay to say, I can't go into this situation today. I need a minute for myself. I need maybe a different caregiver to handle this right now. I need to guard my own feelings.
In this really hard time for the caregivers and the individual with the diagnosis, when should the caregivers consider transitioning their loved ones from maybe assisted living to memory care? And then how can they approach that conversation with their loved one?
That's a really good question. It's a tough question because usually when I'm working with families, once you already get that gut feeling that there needs to be some sort of increased level of care, it's usually in that moment that you need to start exploring those options. I have so many families that they're kind of in limbo, like, okay, well, things are going okay for right now. And I call that kind of the line of fine. We're on this line of fine, but with dementia, that line of fine can quickly go over and into a line of crisis. I recommend going ahead and touring different communities, touring different care options, actually without your loved one. You're doing that to help protect them and everything that they're able to process through. And sometimes that can be very uncomfortable because you've always had them a part of every single decision. But those executive function skills are not going to be able to comprehend all of these moving parts. So you might be going to tour, you might be going to set up appointments, but usually once you start to get that question, it's time to at least start exploring different options.
Jessie Hillock is with us. We're with her for just a few more minutes. She is the owner of the Memory Compass. We'll make sure you know how to reach her before we let her go. But finally, Jessie, what message of encouragement would you like to leave with our listeners who may be caring for someone with dementia or other life-altering diagnosis?
Yeah. Okay. So number one, I always say that you are the expert of your loved one. Yes, there are all these different professionals, but you know your loved one inside and out. And the other is that everyone always says that knowledge is power, but really action on that knowledge is power. You can gain all this knowledge, but if you're not acting on it, and a lot of times when it comes to dementia, I see people kind of just reactively responding to different things. But there's so much power in just having a sense of security and a decrease of overwhelm and being proactive within such a reactive healthcare system. So I really encourage families to take those steps. I know it's so hard, but when you're just kind of waiting in limbo, waiting on that line of fine, crisis can happen really suddenly. So really take action after you gain all of the knowledge about dementia and, try to come up with what is our emergency plan.
Hey, Jessie, how can people get a hold of you?
Hi, so they can reach out to me at thememorycompass.com or through Instagram or Facebook at The Memory Compass.
Jessie, brilliant. Jessie Hillock, everyone, with The Memory Compass. Thank you so much for being with us. And we hope that you'll come back on the show, and we hope we will be able to include you with Caregiver Way as well. So we're going to take a break. And Jessie, you have a wonderful rest of the weekend. We will see you again soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Same to you guys.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you by Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. With 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest and more than 40 years of senior living experience, Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us for more information and to find a community near you. Stay put. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break.
Welcome back, listeners. We've had a fantastic conversation with Jessie before the break. So thank you to Jessie Hillock for her time, and she just does great work. So we're glad that she's here. Noah, you said you had something to share?
Yeah, I just started reading your book, Tina, Embrace the Imbalance. And it is absolutely incredible. But this book is just, I have not really experienced anything like it. And honestly, I have felt quite a lot of emotions reading it.
Aww. Well, I think that's an honest...
It is.
It's an honest review.
Yeah, no, he didn't read anything on a page. Thank you. And what's weird is that I keep getting people saying that, like, I'm reading your book and I'm crying and I'm laughing. And I'm like, oh shoot, my intention was not to make people have heavy feelings necessarily, but I think
That's a
there's
good book,
something
though,
that's
right?
bringing that out.
No, that's a good book. That's a well-written book because that's what you want as an author. You want them to feel all the feels
everything.
that you were feeling, and you've done that, and you have to express that in words. And that's what you've done. You're a fantastic author.
Well, thank you. I told you a long time ago I was doing that book, Terry, to get it off of my soul.
Yeah.
And people keep saying, like, are you going to do another book? And I'm like, I think I'll just do speaking engagements.
What would you like to do? If you did a book, what would you do? Just like part 2?
It would probably be another one. I mean, I've got so many more lessons. So the book is really a collection of stories that's inspired by people and circumstances and, moments that invite us really to embrace the imbalance in our lives. It is the hardest thing for me, by the way, when I'm sitting in the audience at a speaking engagement and somebody says, like, Terry, tell me how you find balance in your life. I want to yell from the back. Embrace the Imbalance. You get your book now at embracetheimbalance.com.
So love the imbalance. Don't necessarily think, oh, I've got to be more balanced, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm a big fan of just be where you are. So I'm here with you, with the two of you and, you, the listener right now. And I hope that I've been great with you during this hour. Sometimes maybe a little less than great, but my goal is to be great with you. And then when it's time for me to move on and go home and be with my family or go to a work meeting or go to church or wherever it is I'm going, then I want to be great there, because I think we get so wrapped up in wanting to be all things to all people at all times and feeling the pressure of we have to be balanced in what we're eating, balanced in what we're doing, balanced in who we're hanging out with. And I just think it's BS. I don't want to have to worry about balance, because when trying to find balance in everything, we fail.
Right. We do. We do. There are lessons to be learned when there's imbalance.
Yeah.
There's lessons to be learned there. And it's okay. It really is okay. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so, in talking about this is about mental health. Mm-hmm. And for those of you that are brand new to the show, and I know more of you are jumping on board. And as we said, we're not just here in Indiana now, we're in Illinois as well. This book you might not know about. And this book is Tina's book. It's a collection of stories that have been inspired by people and circumstances and moments. I mean, I remember when this book started, and she was, even before the book, Tina used to like to just stop on corners and talk to people.
Yeah, listen, you got to finish that sentence.
And talk to people. I thought the pause was appropriate. I thought that would give people Yeah, she would stop on the corner or where she was walking. If she was walking somewhere and she'd come across someone that maybe did not have a home, and she would stop and talk to them. And she just wanted to just share a moment with people and learn from people. And so this is what she's done. And she also, as she mentioned, inviting us to embrace this imbalance in our lives. It's available on embracetheimbalance.com. And then here's the great part. A portion of the proceeds benefits Joy's House, as we have mentioned, a nonprofit. And she's now a millionaire because of all of you.
Nope. No.
I don't know if that's true.
I'm not even sure if I've broken even, but it is worth every penny spent.
Absolutely. Noah?
A chapter that stuck out to me right at the beginning in Embrace the Balance is titled, You Are As Special As Other People Say You Are. And this chapter, Tina describes a tale of her younger sister navigating through a moment of self-doubt. And Tina tries to help her through it by reminding her of the many positive qualities she has, and explicitly tells her, you are as special as other people say you are. And then she finishes the chapter by addressing the reader and exclaims, what would you do differently if you truly believed in the potential others see in you? Trust me, what you have to offer is so much more than you realize. And I just thought that ending, what a great ending to a chapter. Those words really resonated with me. And I think it really emphasizes the importance of your self-belief and the impact that our affirmations have on other people that we care about.
Thanks, Noah. I want to be clear,
that was
too.
Beautiful.
My sister has taught me a lot of lessons in life and, picks me up when I'm down too. So I just want to say that out loud because, TT, we love you. And yeah, Noah, that's really sweet. I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that.
I'm glad too. I'm so happy to be reading this book. I did have a question, though, that came out of it. How do compliments or praise from others affect your confidence? Do they boost your confidence a lot? Because I know for me, absolutely.
Yes.
Are you talking?
Yes.
You're both looking at me.
Well, because
Tina, you answer the question first.
I mean, my answer is yes. Whether it is physical, even I got ready to walk out this morning and my 15-year-old said, you look so cute. And of course, my first thought was my hair, I'm getting my hair done this week. It's all grown out, but it made me feel good. And I've walked with a little more physical confidence today. Mm-hmm. It's also, though, the interpersonal stuff. My stuff with other people or the within. I think that those compliments and that praise from other people, as much as I would like to tell you I don't rely on it, I do.
Here's something, to this day, no matter how old you are, how important is it to get a compliment when you get that compliment from your mom?
Oh,
I mean, it's still it affects you just as it did when you were 7. Right? Your mom says something and it's nice to you, a compliment. And your heart swells. It's still important to get that compliment or you still want your mom's approval.
Well,
right?
And I can tell you as a mom, it is still really important to hear that. And so I know here we are, Mother's Day weekend, and, happy Mother's Day to all of you who are mothers, have been mothers, have mothered someone else in some way, shape, or form, right?
Yeah.
And I can tell you as a mom, it's really important when I hear my kids tell me I'm doing something right.
No matter what.
No matter what,
the age,
right?
Doesn't matter.
So
it still is just as important as it was when you were a kid.
I know we have to go, but tell your moms or a mom in your life specifically what it is that she's doing well.
Yeah.
Not just, hey, you're doing a great job, but this is something that will stay with me forever.
And guess what else? Sit down and talk to your mom. Get to know her a little bit better because she's not always going to be here. So please, yes, do. Get to know your mom a little bit better on this Mother's Day too. Ask some questions.
All right. You need anything from us? Give us a call, 317-254-0828, or email me at tina@joyshouse.org. And we have to say Caregiver Crossing and therefore Joy's House are supported by Cardon and Associates. Check them out. They are wonderful humans, and they have been serving for more than 40 years of senior living experience and just good people. So until next time, take good care of each other.